Hi and welcome to Paints and Glitter. My name is Raquel and I welcome you to my channel. This is a tutorial showing you how I have assembled the French Armoire from TonicStudios. As you can see here, I have the base panel into which I have cut the front little door, as well as the secondary panel. These are going to be the only two pieces that you need for the foundation. And I've also used layering panels from the die set to create the decorative pieces that you can layer on top. You're going to see me place these bit by bit, and as you can tell here, this die set does give you some very intricate pieces that you can cut out and layer to make this armoire absolutely beautiful. And I've prepared everything with adhesive as much as possible here so that this video does not take too long. However, if you do have any questions for me, I'll be happy to respond. These pieces here, by the way, I did cut out with two different layers. However, that pink piece I cut out by cutting it by hand after placing the lattice layer on top. These little pieces that do cut out are the feet of the armoire, and I'm trying to show you here this gorgeous cardstock from TonicStudios, and that is what I've used to make this armoire. It is from the Rustic Rose collection. You will see it linked in the link tree down below. And here you're going to see me placing these little pieces as inlay pieces onto this base. And they cut out quite intricately, but what I've done is that and you can't see it off to the side, but I've left them on my cutting mat, and it made it a lot easier to go ahead and apply these little by little by using my quick stick there and my adhesive. I place the adhesive first, and then because that has a sticky point, I'm able to pick up my pieces and then arrange them accordingly. So you can do as much of this or as little as you like. I just thought it would be a beautiful accent piece, and I wanted to take advantage of that gorgeous rose colored cardstock as an accent. And to make sure that I remove any excess adhesive, I just use a baby wipe that is almost dry to go ahead and clean that off. So here's another panel. You see me doing the same, and sometimes you have to plan it out a little bit depending on how they may be stuck to your cutting mat, but leaving them there makes it a little bit easier, or inside of the die itself, which is what I believe I had done here. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this process because I get a lot of questions as to how I make my items, and I thought that this may be helpful to you. If it is, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment on this video, or if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I do appreciate your support, and it allows me to bring you videos such as these. This Rustic Rose collection, by the way, I wanted to mention, was a release back in September from TonicStudios. It's an absolutely gorgeous collection. It is my favorite of this entire year, 2020, from TonicStudios, and there are several different coordinating papers in this collection that have, of course, the rose colors, but also green. And that's what you're seeing as one of the layers here. Now I wanted to show you this piece here cuts as a solid, as you can tell there, but I did use the smaller portion of this die set to cut that edge of that lattice piece that you see me adhering now. So as you can tell, that one pink piece of cardstock that has a lattice piece, that is cut using two different dies, and then you can layer on top another piece to get that green border. And because I don't do my die cutting on video, then you're unable to see that, but I did want to point that out in case you're wondering how I achieved 3 different colors on this one panel. It's just a matter of layering the different dies, and sometimes you do have to fussy cut around them, but not always. And of course, if you need clarification on that, I'll be happy to explain it. I did explain it also in a live video. So here I have all of my decorative panels. They're all ready to go, and there's also the green one that you don't see here that will be for the back of the box, but that will be coming on next. So here it is. This is just the one solid piece, and that'll go on the back of this particular armoire. And that is another, as I explained before, another piece of cardstock from the Rustic Rose collection, and I believe it is the Rose Sage. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it has this absolutely beautiful embossing on it, and that's what I really loved about it. It reminds me of old wallpaper almost. So here I'm just applying the different pieces. As you can tell there, I try to be gentle with the paper so that I don't hurt those intricate pieces. And here's the front. And again, it was with an inlay die that I was able to cut out those little doors, but it'll be self-explanatory if you get this die set as to how you can layer those to get your little door in the center. So here are these panels, but I wanted to show you how I further decorated this piece, and that is that I took some of the Nuvo Drops that came with this collection, and that'll be listed down below also in the link tree if you're interested. And this is all I did. I just went little by little. I took my time adding the little drops, but then I also used it as if it were paint. That's another technique that you can do with Nuvo Drops. You don't necessarily have to use it as drops if that's something that does not appeal to you. You can use a tool. I do recommend something pointy, as I'm using here. This is a Cricut tool, and I use it all the time in my crafting. And it has a metal tip that's very fine at the end, and I use it as if it were a paintbrush. And all I did was move around those drops. They're quite fluid, so you can definitely paint with them. This is going to be the box portion, or what allows you to make this into an actual box. And you will cut this out twice, once for the bottom, once for the top of your box. As you can tell, the pink layer there I added to decorate the top. I didn't bother decorating the bottom, however. Now, this was kind of finicky, and this was the very first time I ever assembled this. So you're going to see me put this together, and I layer the bottom portion first because I want to make sure that that's nice and straight, and I do make sure to burnish those seams. As you can see here, I'm taking a look to see how is this going to come together. Now, this is the closure. All you do is fold that on the crease lines, and I used hot glue to adhere that to the front of the little door. The other one I added with a brad, and that's it. That's the closure. Super easy. Now I can go ahead and add this bottom piece, but I wanted to make sure it's nice and straight, so I used my see-through ruler just to give me a gauge there, and I want to be conscious of how low this piece will go on the box. And also, you could tell there I almost put it on the wrong way because I had those fold lines going down, but they need to go up. And then once I have my straight edge there, I could then start placing it side to side. So I do recommend that you use a ruler just to give you that gauge, because had I not used this, I don't think I could have gotten that straight on the paper. And as you can tell, I'm pulling the paper toward what's already flat, and I hope that makes sense. And only after I had that nice and sturdy did I want to remove the adhesive cover, so that way I wouldn't get a wonky edge. So you may want to play this at a slower speed. I did speed this up for the sake of not taking too much of your time, but you may want to slow that portion down if you want to really take a good look at what I did there. Now I'm able to apply the top, but because of the way I wanted to make this box, I wanted a hinge here. So I got to thinking about how to do that so that I could actually access the inside, and I decided I would only adhere one portion of that. And I also used this little tab. The tab was from a designer series die set from TonicStudios that just released not too long ago. And I decided to use that just because it was pretty and decorative as the pull tab for that lid. Now you see I only applied adhesive to one edge, and there's in the center is where I'm going to apply my little pull tab. Now another little pointer is those corners are quite tight on this box. So if you're going to use something like this that you can open and close, that's going to get movement, then my suggestion is that you do take your scissors and cut away a tiny bit of the edges of that lid just to make it easier for yourself. But here you're going to see I take away that cover. I try to make sure it's nice and straight against the edge there, and you can see me there just making sure that that's straight before I remove the rest of that adhesive. Now I can burnish that. And those little corners that I keep folding in, that's where I went back in and took my scissors, and that's what I was explaining earlier. Just cut away a tiny little bit of that. It'll make it a lot easier to close. Especially if you're using thick cardstock as I am, because I did use 110-pound cardstock to construct this box. But I hope this has been helpful to you. Here you see me putting the little feet on, and those are the ones I had cut out in that gorgeous paper. And it just takes a minute, a little bit of patience to hold those on there. But what you want to make sure is that you keep them level to the edge of the little feet, so that way your box is able to stand straight. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. And as I always say, that you can be inspired and be blessed. I thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Bye-bye.